everybody, Emily Shimmer here, and today I'm sharing with you how I created this layout for Bella Boulevard. I started by painting some stripes with black India ink, and the reason why I chose India ink is because it gives me the strongest, darkest black to give me the most contrast. I like my black to be really dark. I don't want it to be watered out, and that's why I chose India ink. I then went on to add a few splatters of India ink where I knew I would place my little different elements onto my layout. So I already had at this point an idea of what my layout was going to look like at the end, and this is why I placed all of that here. I'm setting that to dry, and now I'm going to cut off some stars to add some element to my layout. So I'm not using a lot of pattern paper at all on this page. I decided to go with less is more. However, I do choose to stick with some pink papers. I only chose the pink papers because same again, I wanted it to keep it not overly busy. I'm going to fast forward you through the cutting of the stars. Don't worry, because we're cutting quite a few stars, although we're not using them all. It's just once I've cut some, I'd rather cut everything, use all the scrap from it, and then I'm going to keep them aside for a future project. So now that all my stars have been cut out and that my background is dry, I am playing around with the placement. So I make sure to use both pattern on every clusters. It's just to be certain that there's a continuity throughout the whole layout. So as you can see, I had the photo printed previously, but I felt they were too big for this layout, so I went to print them again in a smaller size. And now I'm gluing everything down. So the first stars are glued down using some basic glue, and then usually I'm having the second stars added with some double-sided sticky foam pad, except underneath the photograph, because I want to be able to have an even layer underneath my photograph. I'm adding also some thread. It's just a matter of adding some texture and a little bit of interest, but also to add a little pop of yellow. I want it to have the contrasting colors, so the whole scheme on my page is yellow and pink. To attach my first photo, I'm using some roller glue. I'm using a permanent glue just to make sure it's very, very solid. But as you will see from my second photo, I'm using both the roller glue as well as some double-sided sticky foam pad. And the reason for that is because I'm hoping the thread will attach partially under the roller glue and make sure it doesn't go and move around too much. It's an extra safety to ensure that the thread stays put where I want it to stay. I am now looking at the second cluster of stars, and I decided at this point that I want to add an extra line just to reinforce the black line I've already done, and I'm going to do that with the washi tape. And what I love about these washi tapes is that they do not wash away too much against the black. They still stand on their own quite strongly, and they're still very visible. So I'm attaching the star on top of it. I've glued it simply using some basic glue, and now I'm attaching the second one with the double-sided sticky foam pad. And as you all know by now, if you are used to this channel, or even if you are new to this channel, I love to use double-sided sticky foam pads. It adds a lot of volume and I go through them extremely quickly. I always use a lot on my layout. I then look at the third and final cluster, and same again, I'm adding glue behind one of the stars, and I'm going to attach it there directly on top of the paper. And again, we are looking at some double-sided sticky foam pad to have on a second star on top of the first one. I am now looking at adding a few more details and textures. more washi tape to repeat the same as above, and I'm gonna go also with one more washi tape on the first cluster, just to make sure we've got continuity throughout all the clusters. And talking about continuity, I'm then adding threads underneath the other two clusters, the yellow, to repeat the same thread as the one that I have behind my photograph. I'm tucking it all behind my styles that's mounted with double-sided sticky foam pad, and I feel like I don't need to add any extra adhesive to it. It seems to hold it sufficiently and keep it quite nicely in place. It's not moving too much. It's quite perfect in that way. Now we're looking at a little bit more details, and we're going to build the extra layer touch that makes the layout come to life. And I absolutely love the Bella Pops. They add a lot of details and a lot of texture. They also have some volume into them, and yeah, I just love what they bring to my layout. I also love the acrylics that they do with each collection, and in this instance I'm picking out all the layers more hard from this set of acrylic. I felt that anything bigger would be too much, and you just add like a layer confetti to the layout. It works with the little black drops of India ink on the background, and it just is an extra layer of details that works quite well. As you can see, I popped the layer hard that were inside the clouds. It's just no use of discarding them. I just use them as a layer sprinkle, and it just brings some really lovely detail to my page. I'm adhering it by using glossy accents. That way I make sure that it dries perfectly clear and it's not visible through the acrylic once it's dried, and it's very solid too. Now I'm looking at my title, and I want to bring back that pink and yellow contrast, so I'm going through the puffy alphas as well as the sticker alpha. I love the funky font of these alphas. They really bring something different to a layout. I think it makes it all come to life quite nicely, and I always feel that after adding those alphas in the title, it just completes the layout. Individual alphas is something that I had gone quite off lately, and I've been using more full word titles, especially with certain brands doing full-on word already. But I really feel that the Bella Boulevard Alpha brings something completely different, and I'm actually loving the titles written with those alphas. I'm now going with one of the acrylic strawberries from this collection. It's super cute, and Sophia really loves strawberries and has an obsession with them, so I felt that it worked very nicely with the layout in my photo of Sophia. I'm then adding a few more strawberries from the epoxy stickers, and it's just to repeat again the strawberry that's next to the photo, but in a smaller size. I'm finishing it off by adding a few more sprinkles of dots, so it's just like a visual sprinkle, but they are not sprinkle, they are the matte enamel dots, and I love the fact that they are matte. They look very different from normal enamel dots. I'm finishing it off with a couple of smaller dots of Nouveau drops just to complete the look. They're the same colors as the enamel dots, and this is it for this layout. It's all completely finished. I'm so in love with how it turned out. It's very vibrant and fun and bright, and I feel it really bring the feel of summer, and it's joyful, and I just love the look of it. Please don't hesitate to tell me in a comment what you think of this collection. I really would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.